guys, Gary Box here. I have a new unboxing for you, a new light modifier. This is the 12-inch by 55-inch Snap Strip Box by MoLight, which these are really well made light modifiers. I've got a couple of other older ones that I have, and I just got this one back in. So I'm not only going to talk about the light itself, but the usage of a strip light and why it's so important. So a couple of different things coming at you in this video. So for starters, let's check this baby out. So okay, we've got a nice bag, and we pull it out. We have the actual softbox. Then there should be a grid and the diffusion panels in there. All right, grid and diffusion panels. So let's go ahead and let's put this thing together. Okay, so the snap modifiers are really nicely made, and they just snap together. So in here, we've got the little rods just click and they snap into place. Now you can, to break it down, you push this button and it releases it. So we got 4 rods, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is just almost instantaneous there. I do like the wide opening on the back so you can reach inside it if you need to put gels on or anything like that. Now we should have 2 diffusion panels in here. There's an inner diffusion panel and then your front diffusion panel. You don't have to use the inner panel, but if you do, it makes the light a little bit more even. If you choose not to use the inner panel, you're going to have more of a hot spot in the center, which at times is not necessarily bad, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the diffusion panel in it today. They just snap in with little snaps. 1, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, there we go, and 4. The little holders of these snaps are elastic, and they're actually stretched pretty tight, which is really good. This elastic is going to keep this nice and tight and smooth for you. Then we have our front panel, which is Velcro. When you put this on, you want to put it at the edge of the Velcro, on the inner edge, just like that. So I'm just going to start with one corner, go to another corner, push it down. I'll flip it around, and I will go, oops. My Velcro is getting a little grabby there. Push that on, and then just smooth out the sides. Now, the reason you want to put it on the inner edge is because we also have our grid that goes over that. So the grid helps control the light a little bit better, and especially if you're going to use this as a kicker light, that's really important, and I'm going to show you why in a few minutes after we get this thing all set up. So these are grids, or sometimes called egg crates, and they are Velcro, so now we're just going to stitch those on. This is really nice. It's actually tapered to fit the corners as well, so nice little detail there. That's one of the nice things about MoLight. The guy who owns it, Michael Mowbray, is actually a working photographer, and he really uses this stuff like day in, day out. So he tends to know some of the little details that will really make it nice for us to use. So we're going to Velcro this all the way around, just like that. And that's it. We have our light box put together. It comes with a Bowen's mount, which is the most universal mount. You can unscrew this and put a different mount in it if you want to. You can get different adapter plates to a variety of other lights, such as Profoto, Photogenic, and etc. So you can change the mount out in this. And it does rotate. There's a little screw here that you can loosen to make it rotate while it's on your light. And then you can tighten it down to lock it into place. So all in all, it looks like a really good build quality, which doesn't surprise me based on my previous Snap lights. And we'll Velcro this down, and let's talk about why a strip light, which is long and skinny, let's talk about why it's such a great modifier. Okay, so let's talk about why I like a strip light. A strip light is a smaller light, and I really love the light quality of a smaller light. But the only thing about it is it has to be properly placed. if you have a big soft box that illuminates everything, you can be kind of sloppy with it and it doesn't really matter. When you go to a smaller light that really sculpts your subject and shows them off, it's absolutely gorgeous. But if it's not placed right, it's going to look bad. So let's talk about why you might want to use a strip light as a main light first, and then we'll talk about its use as a kicker. So as a main light, what's really nice is you notice here, if I move this just a little bit, we're really changing the light pattern on the face. Being a skinnier light source, it's going to cast a little bit more shadow. So we're picking up shadow and detail across the collarbones and the top of the bust. So we're really getting some great modeling out of our light by using this. If we switch to a larger big softbox, we're going to lose part of that shadow and lose the depth and the contours of the face and of the body. So I really love this. And again, if we move it just a tiny bit, you can see how the light changes. So you can definitely feather this light, whereas opposed to a larger softbox, it really doesn't do much good to feather it. It's kind of all the same. So this makes a great light for up close as a main light. Okay, so now let's talk about using a strip light as a kicker light instead of as a main. I believe that these are some of the best kicker lights that you can possibly use. A couple of reasons. First of all, we should have a nice little defining edge on our subject, whether you're using on one or both sides. Now, as a general rule, if you're using a single kicker, it goes opposite of the main light. So if our main light is over here, the kicker is here, it's almost like something is reflecting part of the light back. So as a single light, again, it goes opposite of the main light in most cases. Now, if you've heard me talk about a singular light direction, that's a little bit different. Because it's not really hitting the face, we're not actually cross-lighting like we would be if we set a main and a fill on opposite sides. So this is a kicker light. Now, the strip, especially with the grids on it, does a lot of good on not hitting your camera. So see, I can do it like this, and you shouldn't have a great deal of the light coming at the camera angle. Now, if we were to say, replace this and use a larger box or one without a grid, let's look at the difference here. So we're going to take this off and put on like an octabox. Now it's softer, but now we have a lot of light coming back at the camera, which is going to affect your image quality. Because what's going to happen is this light is going to cause lens flare. It's going to lower the overall contrast of your image. So this is not ideal. The strip box is. So let's go back to that for a moment. Okay, so we're back to our strip light as a kicker. And again, we can put one of these on each side and have dual kickers, which is really great if you're doing like a green or a gray screen. It helps give some edge to your subject and cut them out really well. So a lot of times I'll use two of these, one on each side of the subject, whenever I'm doing like a green screen or something that I'm going to be cutting out or extracting. These also make wonderful hair lights. I have several of them suspended from my ceiling, pointing down as a hair light. And you're going to get a nice little separation on the hair and on the shoulders. The nice thing is, with it being 55 inches wide, if you're doing a couple or a small family, you get really good coverage all the way across that. So this is an extremely versatile light to be able to use. Now, is it going to make a good main light for a family? No, absolutely not. You're going to want something with more spread and something larger for that. But as a separation light, hair light, kicker light, they're amazing. The best choice, honestly. And it also makes an exceptional main light whenever you're working with an individual on the front. So, again, this is a 12 by 55 snap strip light from MoLight. As of right now, they're only $159, and it's a great quality for that kind of entry-level price, really. So anyway, I'm pretty impressed, and I can't wait to start working this a little bit more. Thanks, guys. I hope this helps you.